Hey, what's up, everybody? It is your girl JoJo, and I'm here with the review for Ready to Love. I was about to say Love and Hip Hop again, Miami. This is the Miami finale. It is hot, so you will hear the wind blowing because I'm trying to get some air. And you guys know I'm at work, and I work outside, and that's not going to change anytime soon. So just work with me. I couldn't get the review done yesterday because I was working and it was busy and I just didn't have time. But today is a little slower, so I got a little time. So I'm going to do the review. So, oh my God, y'all, it is a spider in here and it is big as hell. Oh, it's a very large spider in here. I said it's a very large spider in here. Really? I thought I saw it crawl on me earlier. That's why I switched sides. Okay, everybody. Sorry for that little bit of excitement. As I was saying, all right, I was interrupted by a very large spider that probably would have sent me to the upper room if it would have bit me. But yes, so this is the finale review for Ready to Love Miami. And like I said before, I work outside, as you all just heard. So I'm amongst the elements. If you hear the wind, just excuse it. I'm going to try to talk over it. But like I said, yesterday it was too busy. And so I finally got a chance to do the review today. So let's talk about it. Okay, so this episode was just full of what in the world is going on moments. Like, okay, I'm confused. So they meet up for this luncheon. And during this luncheon, you got Jamila and you got Kayla. And Kayla goes to sit by herself because she's assuming that Randall's going to come over and they're going to talk and they're going to confirm their connection and all this other stuff. Randall does not come over there. He goes to sit with the guys. And so Kayla is feeling some type of way about this. She's just like, all right, well, he goes to sit with the dudes. Okay, he not even really trying to talk to me like that. Speaking of not trying to talk to people like that, next person we have is Kadian coming in, and her and Swayze are at odds. They had a conversation. The conversation didn't go well. As you guys know, last episode, they talked a lot about Kadian not really knowing what Swayze wanted and where Swayze stood. So when she comes in, she's already agitated. Swayze is agitated as well. So when Kadia comes in, she's just like, oh, he didn't even talk to me. He didn't even speak to me. And I was just thinking to myself, I was always taught when you are entering a function, you speak to everybody else in the room. They don't really speak to you. But in this case, I know they already irritated with each other, so that's a little different. So she comes in, she sits down. She does end up saying something to Swayze about the fact that he's not talking to her, that he didn't say anything to her. And Swayze is just like, this is what I'm talking about. Like, I don't have time for this. I don't want to be with somebody who, insecure and argumentative. I'm trying to get my Swayze accent going. At this point, nephew Tyler Perry shows up. And he lets us know that Samson is gone. And at this point, Sharice gets up because Sharice is going to self-eliminate. During that time, she tells everybody not to settle and know their worth. The same thing that most people say. But I have a question for you guys. What are your opinions on settling? Do you believe everybody has to settle a little bit? Or do you see it as settling, or do you see it as making concessions? No, not concessions. That's something different. You guys tell me what you think about the word settling. I'd just like to know your thoughts. So once Sharice goes home and ends the process for herself, we get somebody else that wants to come up to the front of the congregation, and that's Kadian. Now, do I believe that Kadian is argumentative? Yes, I do. I do believe she is that. I said it in my comment section. I think I said it on the review too. I believe she thinks it's cute, like the back and forth banter. I think she believes it's cute. And to be honest, she's probably been with men who thought that was cute. Like some men like that kind of back and forth. It makes for a whole lot of passion and sometimes really good sex for some people. I don't know. Okay, I don't know. But for some people it does. So maybe that's why she does it. It's worked for her in the past, but I don't think it's going to work with Swayze. Swayze is just not that type of guy. However, Kadian being argumentative does not take away from the fact that I believe that Swayze is emotionally immature. I believe there's areas that he has not tapped into within himself. And it's not really it's not really on Kadian that he is like that. He should be able to have a conversation about where they're going. He should be able to tell her what it is that he's wanting. Nobody wants to be a placeholder within a relationship, date you for 10 years, and then you decide you don't want to deal with them no more. Nobody wants to do that. So she does want to be clear that they are on the same page. I think Swayze is one of those type of people, like, if I'm with you, don't question it. Like, if I'm with you, we vibing, we hanging out. Obviously, I'm showing you that I like you. I'm showing you that I want to be around you. And Kadian is one of those people. She needs to hear the words. She needs you to let her know. She needs you to let her know what it looks like. And I don't blame her for that. Our most valuable asset, as I always say, is our time. And we want to know that it's not going to be wasted. But I think with Kadian, if you have to ask this many times, I probably would just take the hint and know that he either isn't mature enough to answer the question, or he don't have an answer for me and he's answering it by not answering it. But all that's null and void because they're together currently, from what I understand. But during the show, Kadian gets up and she tells nephew Tyler Perry that they're not communicating well, that they're not on the same page. Now, this is the most reaction that I've ever seen out of Swayze. He gets very irritated. He keeps saying he doesn't want a woman who's insecure. He doesn't want to have to keep reassuring her. He doesn't want a woman that want to argue and debate all the time. He doesn't want to do that. And okay, I get that. I understand all of that. Nephew Tyler Perry is telling them that they have a communication issue. I still don't think they're compatible. I could be wrong. I think they're attracted to each other. I just don't think they're compatible. But like I said, they're together right now. So hey, like I said, I could be wrong about all of that. I don't know if I see it. Do you guys see it between Swayze and Kadian? Do you think it's something that they're going to be able to work out long term? I'm going to be interested to see what they have to say about their communication at the reunion. But at this time, as we're watching in live time, Swayze say he don't want to work on the communication. He done. And he is not ready for love. And he is ready to go. And so that's it for the two of them. So we end up with Mike, Randall, Kayla, Brandy, and Jamila. I think I say her name wrong. We end up with them. So we got 3 women, 2 men, and the men are now going to introduce the ladies to their family. Both of them are introducing the ladies to their brothers. Now, I mean, that's cool and all, but this is exactly why I would have pulled a Kadian and introduced you to my godmom, because y'all introducing me to your friends and brothers, and I'm introducing y'all to my parents. Like, no. But maybe that's something to show. It could have been something to show, ask them to do, like maybe not necessarily your parents, but a relatives. I don't know. But they're being introduced to the brothers. So let's see what happens there. All right, y'all. So my annoyance level is high right now. It is so freaking high because they got my girl out of her bag. Now, she was able to bring it back, but the fact that they even got a rise out of her, I was like, You know, on Ready to Love, whenever somebody gets a rise out of you, nobody's ever going to let you forget it. It doesn't matter if you calm it back down. It doesn't even matter if you had the right to get a rise taken out of you. Everybody going to remember it, and we going to remember this. But she was still speaking facts, and she brought it back in. She didn't get too out of control, but I feel like she held her own fairly well in the conversation. So Kayla meets with Randall's brother. Randall's brother is asking about their connection and how things are going, and Kayla does talk to the brother about how Randall does have another connection that he likes as well, and she found out some things were going on within that connection that he didn't necessarily reveal to her. Like it was some more things going on. You know, it wasn't just a surface level connection. And so the brother was like, okay, well, if you know he got that going on, don't you go for your spot? You had the top spot, so don't you go back for your spot? And she was like, no, because I already had the spot. You know, I was already there. He decided he liked something else at another spot. There's nothing for me to really go for. And I was glad she answered it like that, because so many times I think, especially on Ready to Love, when women get into that catty mode and start competing against one another, it just never goes well. And it usually never goes well for the person that's trying to outdo the other woman. It just, I don't know. Now in real life, I'm not really sure if it works or not, because you put your best foot forward and you put your best foot forward. They either like it or they don't. If you start overly competing for somebody, you got to keep that activity up, whatever it was you were doing. So if it's not necessarily a part of you, you just doing it to get the man, sometimes it can backfire. So yeah, I don't know. But in the case of Ready to Love, that never fares well. So I'm glad she did not do that. And I'm glad she answered it that way. So she also brings up that she had another connection that he was like, now you didn't say that. You didn't say that. She was like, I did. But that is a part of the show, dating, getting to know people. And I thought that Randall was comfortable with that. He told me he was comfortable with that. But then it seems like that's when he kind of started switching it up. And so maybe what he told me wasn't necessarily what he wanted, right? So then Randall's brother asks her the question that got it all effed up a little bit. Y'all hear the animals and things out here. You see me? I'm out here trying to get it done, y'all. There's bugs flying around me. I'm trying to get it together, y'all. I don't even know where that sound. Okay. So anyway, he asked her, how do you feel about him? And Kayla said, it don't matter how I feel about him. If I feel some type of way about him, but he don't feel no type of way about me, it's nothing I can do. So now the brother is like, yeah, but you're not answering the question. That don't have anything to do with anything. And Randall is like, yeah, you need to answer that question. Like, why are you not answering that question? How I feel doesn't matter. It's just about how you feel. I'm asking you how you feel. So they're both talking to her at the same time. I can understand why she was getting a little agitated. And she was just like, hold on. We just had a conversation on a date just a couple nights ago where I was asking you how you felt about me, and you told me you didn't have an answer for me, and I accepted that. And now that I'm sitting here telling you that I can't give you an answer, you have an issue with that. I said, come on, Kayla, because you are speaking facts. That has been the issue with both Randall and Mike. They want to know how Kayla feels about them, but they don't want to let Kayla know how they feel about her. They want their ego and their feelings validated, but they want to ignore the fact that she needs her feelings to be validated as well. I need to know what's going on too. Y'all not the only person with ego, it's just bigger. So I was cool with it. I said, Kayla, you better speak that. So she was getting irritated. And the brother was like, relax. I ain't like that. Like, don't act like I'm finna hit y'all. So then Kayla's just like, okay, all right, like, I'm good. And so Randall was just like, are you going to answer the question? And she said, I don't know. Okay, that's your answer. And he was like, I accept that. I accept that answer. I don't know how this date went. I don't know how this date went. All I know is they got a rise out of my girl, and I didn't like that. So in the end, Randall's brother's like, she all right, but she was just uncertain and he don't feel like she really had it. Randall says that he got to see another side of Kayla, and usually when somebody does show their vulnerable side and you do see them flustered, that means that they care. It also could just mean that they fluster and they're agitated with you. But I think Kayla likes Randall for who he is. Like she said, she likes how he thinks about things. She likes the humanity of him. She likes the fact that Randall seems to be anyway, a cool guy, a nice guy. She seems to like that about him, but she's not giving up her cards because nobody else is giving up theirs. And I really don't blame her for that. That's a y'all issue. I don't know who gonna give them up first, but don't expect me to be giving all of this while you got your cards. You're not putting none of your cards on the table with me. You're telling me I don't know, but you want me to be sure about you. So for the brother to say that she's uncertain, Randall's uncertain as well. Moving on to Brandy and Mike's date. Brandy is what I thought. Remember when I told you that I think she's been in a lot of situationships and they haven't worked out? I think I was spot on about that because she pretty much said it to Mike's brother. Mike's brother is asking her questions about her dating history. Has it been rough? She said she's never been in love. And he was like, wow, you've never been in love. He asked her what some of her flaws might be or if she had any issues as to why these situationships didn't progress into relationships. Brandy says she can't think of anything. It's always been it's not you, it's me. Brandy, now I'm going to tell you this, and I feel like you already know it. You should anyway, but I'm going to tell you just in case you don't. They always going to tell you it's not you, it's me. They always going to tell you that. Now, sometimes it's actually true, or sometimes what I've learned with men is that they don't really know how to let the gauntlet down. Like, they don't want to break your heart. They don't want to hurt your feelings. They don't want to be the bad guy. Because when you put yourself in a position of a bad guy, you can't come back. You can't circle the block. You can't never hit nobody up. You can't hey big head, because I'm always remember that you lowered that gauntlet down on me. If a woman lowers the gauntlet down, if he feeling a little lonely, you can always come back around. I'm sorry, guys. Y'all just you value yourself more, but y'all will let us back in, even if it's just for sex. You'll let us back in. A lot of times when it's lowered down on women, we really will be like, okay, he truly did not want me. He said this, and that about me. I'm done. But when it's not you, it's me type of situation, you kind of always leave that door open for somebody who may not have set the proper boundaries that might let you back in. So did Brandy probably have some flaws? Yes. Were those men also probably not ready? Sure. Sure. There's men all the time that will not really be ready they'll like you a lot, but they just not trying to lock in with you. They just don't want to be tied into one woman. They want sex and, possible emotional support when they want it. And when they don't want it, they want it to go away. And that's just what that is. And that's what Brandy was caught up in. So for her to be like she can't think of any flaws, or she doesn't have any flaws, that would have been a red flag for me as well, man or woman. I don't care how great you are. I don't care how pretty you are. I don't care how well you think you have done in these relationships. I don't care what anybody's told you. There's always room for growth somewhere, especially when it's personal to you. It would be different if if he was asking these men that she dealt with, but personal growth, there's always something there usually that can be experienced. And I think in Brandy's case, it's letting people waste your time and possibly not setting the proper boundaries for yourself. So anyway, maybe she's just not ready to say that yet. So as they continue the conversation, she says that she wants to be a wife. She's ready to be a wife. And what's in Mike that she sees that she could have that with him? She was like, she's never called a man a king, but it's right on the tip of her tongue. And child, y'all know my eyes went all the way up in my head, but I brought them back down because I didn't want to get no headache. Child, I guess. I mean, if she want to call him her king, then let's do that. Let's go ahead and do the kings. Kings, I be tired of all of that. I get tired of queen too, though, just to be fair. But kings, they have kingdoms. They have kingdoms. I'm not doing it. I'm gonna call you a lot of things. I might even call you daddy on a good day. But king, you ain't getting out of me. You ain't getting it. But anyway, yeah. So Brandy really, really is smitten. Very much smitten. If Mike is going for the person who likes you a little bit more than you like them, Brandy would probably be the way to go. Sorry to be mean, but she's definitely smitten with Mike. Once she leaves, the brother says, same thing I said. Red flags are she can't identify any of her flaws, or doesn't choose to anyway. And the fact that she hasn't been in a real relationship before, so you're not really sure what you might be getting into. You don't know till you go into it, basically. And that was it. Okay, so now let's do the old switcheroo and let's see what the next dates look like. Y'all, I'm about to get on my soapbox. I know some of y'all don't like when I get up there, but I'm about to get up on it. So go ahead and leave a review now. But the soapbox is really about to be me checking myself as well, because this episode has made me realize several things. Let's start with this. So Kayla meets up with Mike's brother, and Jamila meets up with Randall's brother. I'm going to get Jamila's meetup out the way real quick because it wasn't anything too crazy. He says, I heard a lot about you. And she was like, oh, well, what did you hear? Good things, I hope. And he was like, I ain't never really been one to talk too much. I was like, boy, shut up. So anyway, so you kind of find out what he's heard based on the question he asked her. And it has to do with insecurities and do you feel like you can trust him? And she was like, to suggest that I'm insecure would be that I'm inadequate. I don't think I'm inadequate to anybody. But what I do know is this. If you tell me a certain thing and you tell me I don't have anything to worry about, but then I see some playful activity going on and somebody putting their hands on you, like, I'm already feeling emotionally connected to you. So I'm going to feel a way about it. And that's not an insecurity. It's just, I have feelings for you, and I'm noticing something else is going on. With that situation, do I feel like Jamila's insecure? I don't. I do think that all the ladies, have to do better with this with Ready to Love, it happens every season. Like, you feel good about your connection until you see them interact with another connection. But what I didn't like that Randall did was he kind of tried to downplay it, like, him and Kayla wasn't like that, but y'all was like that, and she saw it, and you needed to just be honest about it, or more honest about it anyway. So I kind of got, child, somebody done crunked the truck up. Now that's gonna be in the background with the wind too. They not giving me no break out here. But I kind of got why Jamala kind of did it the way she did it and why she was irritated. But I know that one day we gonna get it right on Ready to Love, where they gonna be like, you know what, I ain't studying y'all. But she answered the question well, and she didn't let it get too heated. So I do think she did a great job with that. The brother asked her more questions and basically assures her that Randall's a good guy. You ain't never got to worry about him lying to you or leading you on, which I'm just like, okay, or leading you on or anything like that. Like, when it comes to a relationship, that is a really real thing for him. Okay, that was good to know, and that's what Jamala wanted to hear. But she definitely is feeling him, and she does want to be with him long term. So the brother does end up liking her, not really feeling Kayla like that. We're gonna talk about that in a minute. So then we go over to Kayla's meetup with Mike, and the first words out his mouth were, Kayla's a kind of, a good, what did he say? She's a nice girl. She comes from wealth. Sometimes I don't know if I really got enough for her. I don't really know if I measure up. And that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is what has truly had the boys shook. It's like I saw my whole dating history flash before my eyes, because I'm not saying these women on this season, I'm not saying Brandy's not a good woman, I'm not saying Jamala's not a good woman, because I believe they are good women. But one thing that I like about Kayla is she comes off as confident. She comes off as somebody that is not easily impressed, but she does it without putting anybody down. I think that was how Sharice was trying to play it, but it came off very not humble, very much I'm up here and the rest of y'all are down here. And she just didn't finesse it the same way that Kayla is finessing it. I know I be fangirling over Kayla. You listen, call me what you want, but I really do like her style. Like, I really do like her energy. And so it just showed me how sometimes I can be so worried about being like the girl that goes with the flow, or the girl that's easygoing and not putting too much pressure on you, and the girl who doesn't want to be seen as bougie and wanting too much and over the top. And so I want to be seen as cool and more humble, and what you call it when someone's easy on the palate. I kind of want to be like that. And it just showed me that you need to you don't need to be a B word, but you need to, like, give somebody something to aspire to, basically. Like, don't put yourself, you ain't got to put yourself down on nobody's level. You ain't got to make yourself, this easy to the point where you darn near pushover, because that's what I used to do. I realized I had to own the fact that I was a pushover in relationships. There were certain things that I would do to maintain a relationship or to be with somebody. There were certain things I didn't speak up on, and then I would be frustrated with myself in the end for not speaking up on those things. But I would take my frustration out on the other person when I knew that ain't nothing I'm going for. I don't play that. And I didn't set my boundaries. I just did not properly set my boundaries. And I think that is why I like Kayla so much, because she holds the mirror up to things that I probably should have been doing a long time ago when I was dating. So she comes in and she was like, "This is Pinot Grigio, I assume." And Michael's like, you see what I'm talking about? But Pinot, I'm just like, Mike, that ain't even okay, baby. But Mike, I now see that he likes Kayla. He loves her energy. He loves her vibe, but he feels like he's not enough. And that would almost be offensive to me if I was Brandy, because it's like, I can bring with you whatever I have, but I know with her, I'm going to have to step it up. So perhaps I'm going to go with what's easy and not what's necessarily going to be a challenge for me, but might make me a better man. I don't know, y'all. Am I looking at this wrong? Y'all let me know, because I might be looking at this wrong. It's like a go for what likes you, I guess, type of thing. So as they continue to talk and the brother's trying to get to know more about Kayla, she was like, she does a lot of things. Howard grad, Jack and Jill kid. And that's when I knew she was one of the blacks that had the coin. Okay. I too used to go to Jack and Jill events, but I didn't have no money. My cousin, who I won't say her name, but my cousin was in Jack and Jill. They had money. And every now and then she would invite me to go along with them. And the other Jack and Jill kids, somehow I knew some of them. I don't know if I knew them from church or what, because y'all know I was a church kid. Probably knew them from church. And so, my cousin, God bless her, she hung with a lot of white people. So when she would, I hope she don't ever hear this. So when she would bring me, I would make it easier for her to make the connection with the other Jack and Jill kids, because the other Jack and Jill kids were black. So I would make it easier for her to make that connection with them. I was like her bridge, if you get what I'm saying. When it came to certain things, that was my girl, though. I love my cousin, but she had her crowd or whatever. And so I too have been around the Jack and Jill kids. A lot of them, their parents were lawyers, doctors, judges. They were the who's who in the black community, the up theirs. And so I think my cousin's dad, he worked for IBM for years. And so, yeah, had a little money. So I knew Kayla was amongst those type of kids. She was used to certain things in life. You can't half step when it comes to Kayla, and that's good. We knew that from meeting her daddy. She said that she wants to marry, she wants a family, she's big on legacy, she wants a family crest. I love that kind of talk. And I was really aggravated when they was like, see, oh, bougie, you being bougie. That's not bougie. Okay, that's called really truly wanting a legacy for yourself. And I don't think it's something to be clowned or laughed at. And I like that she was cool about it. Like, bougie, why it's got to be bougie? It's not bougie. Okay, my mom's been a realtor for 25 years. It's correct. All right, it's not bougie. And I agree with that. So, yeah, I just think Mike doesn't feel like he has what it takes to get a Kayla. And I'm not saying he's going to settle for a Brandy, because I think Brandy's a great woman as well. But he knows that Brandy is going to accept him. And Kayla even says that I feel like Mike has a lot more going for him. I feel like he could be great. I feel like I could expose him and put him on to some better things, basically, is what she was saying. But what I do want Kayla to realize is, listen, don't build nobody up and let them get the big head on you. I don't want that for you, girl. But yeah, this episode it taught me many things, and it let me know that Kayla had the boys shook the whole time. What did y'all think about their interaction, though? Y'all let me know. Okay, so now that the dates are over, decisions must be made. What are we going to do? Who are we going to leave with? We see Randall meet up with Kayla. And this is just to give her the axe. I really like that Kayla sat there and allowed Randall to make the decision for himself, because he needed to do that. And he finally said, I'm not choosing you. After she was like, go ahead, say it. He did say it. He let her know that the meeting between the brother just wasn't really impressed with her, was more impressed with Jamila. Like, we already know that. So she was finding out what the brother thought. And she was like, well, I didn't get the approval of the family. I got to live with your choice. And that's pretty much it. I do think it hurt her feelings, but honestly, I don't really feel like either one of them were going to cut it for Kayla. This was not going to be a long lasting relationship. So it's okay. She's going to be all right. But you can tell it did hurt her feelings. I had something else to say, but it don't matter. It's over now. Then we had Mike that chose Brandy. He said it was a really hard decision, but he feels like Brandy is the one. Her face lights up. This is a monumental moment for him. That's bae. They each other's bae. This season was very underwhelming. Like, even the decisions were underwhelming, but I'm gonna tell you, they make up for it in the reunion, ain't it? Because from the previews I saw, there's gonna be some things going on. Look like Swayze might have been ready to throw some hands in the back. Look like, I couldn't tell if that was Kadian or if it was, I don't know who that was in the yellow, but somebody was up looking like they were about to fight somebody. And then, it was just a lot of passion and aggression. But as far as the end results, I kind of saw it for Brandy and Mike. I'm still concerned for Brandy, because I don't want to say this because it sounds like, I promise y'all, I'm not one of those girls that's like only concerned about money. But the way that Mike constantly brought up, like, I don't know if I'm enough. I don't know if I'm going to have enough. I don't know if I'm going to do, like, it makes me wonder, is he good financially? And can he take on having more children with Brandy? Because she's going to have to probably cut back with doing the flight attendant thing, even though she does well with that. Will she have to find
a new career. Like, I don't know. It's just a lot to think about, but you know, they'll figure that out, child. That ain't my business. Then, well, none of this is my business, right? But then, with Randall and Jamila, I don't see them being together. I really don't. I feel like Randall just went with the safest choice where he was going to have to do the least amount of work. And Jamila just gives that. She's been giving it since day one. Everything that she does, no matter who she was matched with, everything that she does, all the energy that she gives off is, I'm here for you. What do you want me to do? What can I do to please you? How can I be there for you? That is all I've gotten from her since the first episode. So yeah, I don't see them being together. But you guys let me know what you thought about the season. And I will catch you guys for the reunion. Thanks for listening. Bye.